going on? So the NFL decided to do their top 100 NFL players ever. And it's been a nice water cooler or latte or Powerade Zero, whatever you drink, or coffee, whatever you want to drink. Debate. And they picked Jerry Rice over Tom Brady and Lawrence Taylor. And my thoughts were, no, no. Quarterback's the most important position. Tom Brady would be number one. And then Joe Montana would be, and then I would say Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor happens to be my cousin, but I'm not. It's no bias. He was a better, more impactful player than Jerry Rice, and he just as impactful almost as any quarterback in a modern context because he changed the dynamics of the game. He literally used to haunt the NFC East. I've always been a Buffalo Bills fan. I wasn't really riding with the Giants, but to have your cousin blood who was dominant, who changed the course of you couldn't not see that. So he belongs way up there. Brady has 6 chips, 9 Super Bowl appearances. We're not even talking about the AFC Championship. I think he's been in like 12. I mean, that's over half his career, 20 years. I mean, who got that kind of resume modern? I know somebody may, well, LeBron's won 3. Okay. But Brady's won 6. And Brady, let's be realistic, is more closer to a Bill Russell situation than LeBron James is. I'm just keeping it 100 about that. But he's in almost every statistical conversation. And he's never really played with a dominant player per se through his whole career. In the year that they won those 18 games and they lost the Super Bowl to the Giants, he had Randy Moss, and that was it, really. He had Gronk, but he had already been to 4 Super Bowls and had won 3. So it's not like he needed, Adam Vinatieri, when they go put Patriot offensive people in during his, whatever you want to say, era, maybe about a couple, but him and Gronk, but Adam Vinatieri, when you think about it, it's not like he had a cascade of greatness around his whole career. So that's enough reason enough where, Brady's pretty rare. Joe Montana was incredible. And before, Joe Montana was so bad, if you remember Scarface, Howard Stone named it Tony Montana. Think about it. That was before he had won his 3rd and 4th Super Bowl. So I knew Joe Montana was pretty special. Very distinctive player. So I would have no problem with them too. And then I have Lawrence Taylor, and then I would I'd say Jim Brown. And then I'd say Jerry Rice around number 5. Jim Brown, the gold standard running backs, one of the greatest ever. That's how I feel about him. And then Jerry Rice then is a dominant receiver. But I can't put him in because you have to have a quarterback to put him in the spot. So that's mine. And if I'm looking, like I had a discussion with a buddy, I probably have O.J. Simpson, and he'd be in my top 10. I don't care what nobody says. As a running game, he was voted the most important player, best player of the 70s. And as a running back, Jim Brown aside, he set a gold standard. So, yeah, I have to put him in there. I would debate anybody about OJ because he was a standard, period. And we can go on after that. And then, after that, you can look at Reggie White, who was a great defensive tackle change. Very important, very versatile, incredible. You could throw Peyton Manning up there. I mean, his body of work, what he did, he had an incredible run, dominant player, etc. Guys like that. And it's debatable at what you want as far as how you look at it from there on. And all depends on what your criteria is. But there are definitely some guys that, their body of work speaks for themselves, and it's hard to say this or that, but it speaks for themselves. So anyway, but that's the main 3. If I had to do the ranking, just like if we're going, the main 3, I'd say Brady, Montana, Lawrence Taylor, Jim Brown, and then I would say Jerry Rice. I can't put Jerry Rice above the quarterbacks because he played with 2 Hall of Fame. He did change the game with the rack after running after catch. However, Joe Montana had kind of like 1, 2 Super Bowls before there was a Jerry Rice had even entered the scene, and he was already came up big. So it's not like he was sitting around in need of a signature guy. He had already accomplished He was already accomplished. So, it all depends on, how you look at it. And he did pretty good in Kansas City, too. So, but anyway, let's debate your NFL top 100, your picks, who you got, what you say, why. Feel free to give comments, thoughts, and takes. Hit the like, subscribe, and the bell rings in the video. Have a good day.